In today's world, with such a focus on equality, the act of stereotyping is something that we would have expected to be left in the past. However, it still happens in our everyday lives and even within our classrooms. How many times have you heard a teacher say phrases such as, "Can I have 2 strong boys to help me move some tables?" Or, "Can I have 2 sensible girls to wash the paint pots in nursery?" As educators, we should aim to challenge stereotyping within the walls of our classrooms and our schools. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and today's video is about challenging stereotypes in the classroom. A stereotype is defined as a specific belief or assumption about individuals based solely on their membership in a group, regardless of their individual characteristics. An example of this could be that only boys can play football or that all girls love dolls. There are numerous different stereotypes that some people within society uphold. For example, groups are often stereotyped based on sex, gender identity, race and ethnicity, nationality, age, socioeconomic status, and language. And this list could go on. Stereotyping can be something we do automatically, sometimes unconsciously, and therefore it's important to be aware of the impact of using stereotypes, especially on young people. Research from the Fawcett Society shows that children latch on to stereotypes from an early age as a way to categorise people and make sense of the world. Children form their own views and attitudes towards the world by the age of 7. As educators, we can't be totally responsible for changing attitudes, but we can support pupils to foster positive views towards different members of society. We know that challenging stereotypes is essential for creating an inclusive society where everyone can grow, develop and gain confidence in their lives. By actively challenging stereotypes and embracing diversity, we can have an environment where individuals feel valued, supported and empowered to reach their full potential. There have been significant changes in schools over the years as far as stereotyping is concerned. It was not that long ago that girls would study home economics and boys would do woodwork or metalwork. And this had a knock-on impact on attitudes. Girls may think that mechanics, engineering and skilled labour was not suited to them, and alternatively, boys did not get to experience the science of cooking and the skills of sewing. It's a basic but very real example of gender stereotyping from the not too distant past. Today, in our classrooms, we need to think carefully about how we group. Our mindset as educators must constantly reflect on our practice and consider if we are stereotyping particular groups of children, especially by gender. We'd love to hear from you and your experiences in school about how you address stereotyping and how you personally have adapted and considered your own attitudes to support your pupils. Please share with us and drop us a comment in the comments below. And while you're there, why not like and subscribe and click on that bell to keep hearing more from My Progression. So what's the impact of young children being exposed to stereotypes? The National Education Union say, "We should be preparing young children for the future we hope they will live in, as a diverse, non-sexist one. We challenge racism by breaking down stereotypes, but we don't do this as effectively with gender. Why aren't we preparing them for a world in which women don't want to have children or men want to stay at home and care for them? If we refer to these possibilities at all, it's very much in passing. How many households are there already where the woman is the higher earner? And yet we're not educating them for this very real world." The importance of stereotyping has been researched greatly, and the importance of it finds that if we impose rigid ideas of masculinity and femininity on children, we limit their potential and can actually cause real harm in later life. So what can we do to challenge stereotypes in the classroom? Well, number 1, talk about stereotyping. Ensure children understand this vocabulary and what it means. Be explicit in explaining ways in which stereotyping has formed our society and the negative impact this can have. It's important that children understand what stereotyping is for these stereotypes to be challenged. Number 2, challenge stereotypes when you hear them in the classroom. For example, such as, "Boys don't wear makeup," or "Girls don't play football." Question it with a why. What about the Lionesses? Let's watch some of their amazing match highlights. And why can't boys be interested in fashion? Let's do some research into top designers. Having discussions and researching will empower the pupils to become more aware and more open to situations which they're stereotyped. Challenging stereotypes and creating discussions will be key to changing opinions and bias, as well as encouraging inclusion within your classroom. Number 3, remove any gender-based inferences within your classroom. It's so easy to use terminology such as girls and boys or boys line up first. However, by doing this, you could risk excluding individuals or making one group feel inferior to another. Consider how you can refer to your class without using gender labels, for example, simply saying children or their specific class or table group name. Number 4, ensure you don't group by gender within the classroom. We don't group by ethnicity, social background or cultural background. That would be unacceptable. So why do we still group by gender, which is also a protected characteristic? Grouping by gender is not inclusive and can risk excluding those who do not identify within a specific gender. Think carefully about different ways you group the children and how you organise group activities. Number 5, look at your own attitudes and constantly reflect and evaluate. At times, could you stereotype without thinking? Consider the language you use when speaking to children of different genders and your preconceived ideas of their likes and dislikes. For example, would you give out different rewards and select specific stickers or toys based on gender? It's important that you're constantly reflecting on your own practice and ensure that everything you do is based on the individual child rather than gender stereotypes. Number 6, use class jobs and responsibilities to promote gender equality. Consider the roles you're giving out in the classroom and ensure there are no jobs that are considered boys' jobs or girls' jobs. Ensure that a child of any gender can do any job by changing things up and switching the jobs so different children can have a go. Number 7, consider different dynamics and living situations when referring to families. Previously, families were typically considered to be nuclear, consisting of a mum, dad and their children. However, in society today, this is no longer the case. Children in your class may have a range of different family situations, including single parents, same-sex parents, or living with foster carers. Using the word family encompasses those who care and look after each other, therefore is an inclusive term for all. Number 8, carefully choose texts which do not support stereotyping. Take care with the books you read and provide literature which promotes equality between men and women. Think about the resources you use and consider what impression they're giving. Be aware of texts that use gendered language like firemen or policemen. This could make the girls in your class feel that it's not a job they can do. Do the texts you use provide opportunities to challenge stereotypes? Older, traditional texts have their place in teaching and make up part of the national curriculum. However, it's your responsibility to highlight where these texts do not represent equality between genders. And discussing this with your pupils is a way to share your values with your pupils and promote equality within your classroom. Number 9, provide a safe space for children to explore their gender roles. This can be done in a range of different ways and starts in the EYFS, where children learn through play, including role-playing. Children are encouraged to explore the world around them, learning that boys and girls can be hairdressers and chefs, engineers and explorers. If you'd like to read more about how gender stereotypes can impact children and their future career aspirations, check out the EasyJet campaign detailed in the description below. And we've also added some useful resources. Number 10. Finally, tell the children about real people who are role models. This makes the learning and exploration more relevant as well as inspirational, and it shows the children they can aspire to do what they want, with no limits regardless of race, gender, sexuality, disability or social background. A popular book series suitable for both primary and secondary children called Little Leaders by Vashti Harrison teaches children about role models with protected characteristics from around the world who have achieved amazing things. As educators, we play an integral part in helping children develop and understand that there are no limits put on a person because of their gender identity, race and ethnicity, nationality, age, socioeconomic status and language. If we overtly do this within our classrooms and schools, attitudes outside the classroom and in society will begin to change. You should actively teach children to be who they want to be and question stereotypes to help promote a society where everyone is equal. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and let's keep your career in motion.